Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Rowell. All right, it's the last day of my short weekend. I'm going back to work tomorrow for my long work week, and after that, it's also the last day that I have available to find out what my role is going to be at the Silo of Screams. That's right, I'm doing that again this year. Now last year you may recall that I made myself sick because I was working just 2 long hours on that Friday and Saturday, because it was just too much to do a 12-hour workday, then go do 6 hours of Silo of Screams, then get a couple hours of sleep, then get up on Saturday and start the whole thing over. It just was too much for me. It made me sick. So I told John last year that I wasn't going to be able to work both nights, that I'd only be working Saturday nights, and he was cool with that. But because of that, he wants to have me in a different role. He's had me in the past play a doctor in some hospital room doing unnecessary surgery on a vibrating dead corpse in the past. Last year and a couple years ago, he's also had me play the role of the dentist. And he sees those as kind of key roles and wants them to be the same person every night. Since I'm not going to be there every night this season, he has decided he's going to put me somewhere else. And I haven't really had a chance yet to talk to him about it. He's really busy in this final couple weeks, I'm sure, getting that place set up, because he's got to, he reconfigures mazes every year, and he adds new things to them and moves people around and stuff like that. So it isn't just the same maze every year. And since I don't know yet what I'm going to be doing, I need to take a trip down to Temple today to figure that out, talk to him, and pick up whatever props I need. So I'm going to head down to Temple, and I'll catch up with you a little bit, and we'll discuss what comes next. All right, I'm back from Temple. I've had an opportunity to meet with John and kind of know what my role is going to be this year. Also got my new official Silo of Screams t-shirt. He does a new one every year. Wanted to make sure I got one, so I always appreciate that. It always blows me away what a professional and how dedicated John is to getting this thing ready. I always knew that he spent weeks and weeks before Halloween setting this thing up, and probably 6 months before Halloween getting the basic final plans done and everything ordered and all that. But it turns out, as we're approaching the final couple days, because Silo of Screams officially opens on Friday, September 23rd, which is actually going to be a low scream night. They're not going to have a lot of monsters in the mazes this time. It's just going to be the mazes, so you can bring the kids through and see something that maybe isn't as scary as the final thing will be. And then the full maze will open up on the 24th on Saturday, and I will be there for that one. I found out this year I'm going to be in the incinerator. I've been in there before when I did the "'Tis the Slasher Season" Christmas version of the maze a couple years ago. I was in there playing Freddy Krueger and had a blast in there. I was also in there a little bit, I think, last year in a slightly different role, but I had a blast doing it. Kind of know the maze pretty well, and basically he gave me just a bunch of he gave me literally a big bin full of rubber latex masks that I could wear. Apparently the theme of the incinerator is it's sort of a post-apocalyptic nightmare, and so there's basically a lot of people like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre butchering people and stuff like that. That's the theme for this particular maze, and a lot of the people have different a lot of the monsters in that maze have basically stolen faces from other people, and so I got a chance to thumb through the particular masks that I could use. He said I could pick whatever one I want, and basically I settled on this one. This one he calls Picasso, because actually what it is, it looks like, so they've taken the face and made it sideways. So this is what there's an eyeball here, an eye hole here, and this is actually the mouth and the nose, but I'm going to be wearing it like this, looking out of one eye hole and looking out of the mouth, and then they've created another mouth here at the bottom for me to peer through. So I thought that would look really particularly horrific. In fact, John snapped a photo of it, and I'll show you that picture right now of me wearing that. And like I said, it's a really gory looking mask. I've also got some kind of fun props. He's given me a machete, so I'm going to be chasing people around with a machete. You know, I'm always looking for more faces to chop off and use for my own. So this is going to be my machete. He said he might get me something else to use also, but we'll see on that. In the past, I've brought this old rusty screwdriver, and I've found that to be a good thing for like banging on things and scaring people. A lot of these haunted attractions, it's about jump scares. It's about jumping out and scaring people and making go ah. And so, you know, if you can make a loud noise that's going to scare people, that's going to be a good thing. I've also got this really horrific looking prop. It's obviously a face that has been removed from somebody else, but holy cow, it's really realistic looking, and it's gory looking on the back. So I'm going to be like wandering around with a machete in one hand and the face in the other, and I think that will be a very horrific image and will probably scare people. I usually have to kind of work on my routine a little bit, which is why it's nice to have the Silo of Screams start early and have there not be a lot of people, because then it allows you to kind of develop your act. You know, even on the dentist and when I was in the hospital in the past, you know, it took me a night or two to kind of figure out what my routine was and figure out what it is that scares people. So that's sort of the advantage of doing that and starting out slow. It allows you to kind of work out your routine. And then of course on top of that, I've got a nice bloody butcher's apron here that I'll be wearing the whole time, and so that will be part of my costume. That means I can just wear a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and as long as there's like no logos on the back, we're going to be good to go, because it'll all be covered up with the apron. And I also got from him just some makeup stuff. This is the same stuff I had last year to create like realistic looking wounds and some realistic looking blood, and knock this stuff on the ground. But this is some latex for making like scab material and you know, make it look like the skin's all torn up and stuff like that. So he gave me a bunch of that. Like I said, I'm going to be wearing a mask, so I won't have to decorate my face, which is good, because I find when it's really hot in there, I tend to sweat a lot, and when I sweat, the makeup all drips off, and so by the end of the night it isn't actually looking all that good. So I won't be seeing a lot of that, you know, because my face will be covered up with what he calls the Picasso mask. I think that's awesome. But he did give me some. He said if I want to do something on my arms, you know, I can do that too. That'll probably be a little easier and won't be subject to dripping as much. But we are now ready for Silo of Screams. I'm going to be doing it every Saturday this year, except for October 1st. That's the night I'm going to a concert with Jordan. But if you want to stop by and say hi, you know, I will be in the incinerator maze, like I said, and you know, I won't be able to break character if you stop in. But what tends to happen is if somebody says my name or says Escaping the Mouse or something like that, generally I'll fly into a rage and just become real angry. So that will be my acknowledgement that if you stop by and say hi, that yeah, I acknowledge who you are, but I'm not going to break character. So wanted to show you all that and let you know what's coming up for Silo of Screams this year. And hopefully we can get a few to come down and say hi. So I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Pleasant dreams.